Okay, hi, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches, and I just wanted to introduce you to just a week of sewing. So it's not sew-alongs, it's not loads of chit-chat, hopefully, if I can manage not to chit-chat, you know what I'm like. But I just thought I've got quite a few opportunities to sew this next week. So I thought if I just invite you in and show you what I'm going to do next, just describe that, maybe come back to show you whether I've done it or not, what that looks like if I have, and then what my plan is to do later on or the day after. So I hope that'll be okay, and I hope you can stay with me. It will all be run in one video. So the last video that I did will have been the Friday sews, where I talk about my all-in easy fit shirt. So it's following on from that, and also I mentioned that I would put a video out about my hair and I'm wanting to change it, and I did make a miserable little video. I haven't put it out, and basically I just want to get back on top of finding a decent hairstyle, not having it so long, and just making life easier for myself. So I'm about to show you what it's like when it's just left to air dry on its own, and then there won't be much about my hair in the over the next few days after that. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you get something from it. I hope it's inspiring in some way. I don't even know how that would be, but thank you for watching. Thank you for thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Apologies for the seagulls. Again, I live at the seaside, and they're on a little they're on a little chatting expedition at the moment. So I'll leave you there, and then I don't know if I'll come back on at the end or not, but I think you'll know when I've gone. All right. I'm wearing, not quite sure what this is. Could be a plantain tee. I'll put it in the description below. The fabric is cotton lycra jersey from Truro Fabrics. Okay, I'm going to get on. I did a little video, I've not put it out, about my hair, but I was going to change it, and I just thought I'd show you that it has been trimmed just to establish what the length will be. You don't need to know really. So this is air dried with products aplenty, but this is what my hair comes out like. I do that occasionally, and this is much better in the way that that is naturally falling at the moment. Anyway, I'm not going to be obsessed with my hair all the time, but I can't really work with it like this. It feels too tickly. So I found a headband and I'll put that on. I've altered the dart markings on this blouse, and I've just tried it on, so I'm going to do the other side now and then sew it together, and then I will edge stitch down on the outside of this and then turn it in by 1/4 of an inch and then sew that. That's that bit done, and I'll see you later. Okay, so where I'm up to is I have made a guide stitch down the side 1/4 of an inch, and then I have turned it over on that guide stitch and pressed it and sewn it down, top stitched it if you like, and that is the facing. I have completed the darts on the sides of the shirt, and I have done the shoulder seams, joined it at the shoulder seams. I'm waiting to do, I have 2 overlockers at the moment, and one is threaded with white thread, and I want to leave that alone. That's the new one, and I'm going to take that into Janet. She's going to have a look at it for me. That's got its original thread. I've got some green moon thread on the other one, which I used on the black Easy Does It shirt, and I'm going to use it. I just realised that I haven't done the sleeves, where the sleeves have joined. I haven't overlocked that. So I can use the green for that, and then I can swap the green to red. So that's what I'm going to do afterwards. But what I've done at the moment is the frill or the ruffle. This comes in 2 long pieces. They're joined in the middle, and then you turn them over and press them, and then open the back out again and join the short ends. Then you make your nice little point, however you like to make that, and then you've got the end of the ruffle for this side and the end of the ruffle for the other side. It's nice and neat when that is attached to the collar. And now I'm going to put some gathering stitches in so that I can even it out around the sides of the edges of the collar. Then I'm going to get something to eat, and then I'm going to put some smoothing rollers in my hair and see if I feel a little bit more kempt. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. I've not put a comb through this yet, but I have just taken out my rollers. Anyway, I'm just sharing. I'm just having a bit of trouble with this because it's so floppy, and I have lost the other page of my instructions, so I have to keep going on and watching Rochelle. Is she Rochelle Handmade? Because she does a sew along, a review and a sew along with this New Look 6707. I have to keep going back to her, but she does confirm that you are supposed to attach it to the collar that doesn't have the interfacing, and it really does drive me mad when it's that, because you've got no base. It just is a completely moving thing all the time, so it's just a little bit frustrating. Anyway, I'll get back to you in a bit. I've decided to quarter it, so I've got it halfway, I've pinned, and I'm just doing half, then I've halved that again so that I've got two matching bits, so that I get enough gathers at one quarter and enough gathers in the other. That's the idea anyway. I'll see you in a little bit. Hello again. I'm just enjoying this coming together now, and I've not quite finished it, but I have had some lunch and I have had some expected happy mail from Minerva, and I have put something in the wash and I have put something in the dryer, and I'm now washing something else. So I shall see you later. And when I couldn't remember what this top was, it's a cashmerette Grafton, and I can't find my black glasses, and that's been a bit of a struggle because I'm using these that are only weak and they fall off my face. They're really wide. And then I found my others. These are a bit on the skew, so they'll turn up at some point. Anyway, see you in a bit. Okay, so just got the collar basted to the top part of the collar. I've got to put it all back down flat together on the collar, and then lay this piece over it, right sides together, sandwich the frill, the ruffle inside, and then when I'm confident that all the frill is away from the edges, baste that and then sew it at 5/8 of an inch. So that's where I'm up to with that, and it's coming along lovely. Okay, it's just gone quite warm in here, and I'm gonna go and get a drink, something nice and cool from the fridge, I think. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for today, but I've had a lovely afternoon just slow sewing this blouse, and I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to do with the facing on and attaching it to the shell of the shirt, but that's fine. I've had a lovely time and I'm really pleased with how it's looking. So all I have to do now is to go in and trim the seams, seam allowances, the seam allowance, and cut the curves. And then I'm ready tomorrow to just baste it down really so it doesn't slip. Baste the interior part of the collar and then add that to the top of the blouse. So that's great. So I'll finish off just doing the overlocking of those edges, and then I'm done for the day. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and I haven't had time to go down to the tumble dryer to get the fabric, so I shall show you that tomorrow. Okay, bye for now. See you tomorrow, which will be in a few seconds. So hello again, it's day 2 today, and this is a Nico top. It's a size 14 in the True Bias Nico top, and it's in fabric that I got from the sewing, what do you call it? Not stash, is it? The giveaway table. It's Northwest Sewing Social. Thank you whoever donated this, because I love it. Anyway, yes, it helped me to just run up the first Nico top I'd ever made. It feels like it just feels like a good fit. The sleeves are a little bit loose. I think I may have done the next size up, because I often do that when I haven't made it before, and I obviously left them a little bit too long. I just got it tucked into a denim skirt that I got from a charity shop. I think it's a Mark, so it doesn't really matter. But yesterday I ran out of time, sewing time, to just run round the armholes of the Take the Chance dress with the overlocker, and then I can change the thread, because I've just been hanging on for that, but I couldn't remember why it still had green thread on. But anyway, in the night, in another of my insomniac nights, I thought about, I could actually take this in slightly down the sides. I'm thinking only 3/8 on each side, because it is rather loose on me now. And the red one, when I took it on holiday, it felt really quite uncomfortable, because it's quite loose, and it wasn't necessarily the weather for it. And if it had been, I may have been so grateful to be able to wear it, because it was airy, it was easy breezy. But I wasn't, and it just felt a bit bulky. So I thought, while these have not been overlocked, I've just taken a little bit of the sleeve seam away, and I've just pressed down the sides, because what's wonderful about the Take the Chance dress, you make the bodice, you put on the collar, you can put on the sleeves if you like, and you make the skirts, but you join the skirt to the bodice. You join the back skirt, however many tiers you're making, you join those, the back one to the back and the front one to the front, and then you do your side seams. So it's only a simple thing of just going down all the seam. Now I can taper it a little bit, then I don't need to take the hem off. So I just thought I will do that on my machine. I'll take the red thread off, and then I'll do that first. Then I can overlock the sleeve. Then I can move that to red and overlock all my bits and pieces on there. Anyway, yesterday I noticed, I just done the editing for the first day, and that's because I used to do that, and now do that. I would say I was quite subdued or serious, or I don't know that I was down, but I didn't really feel like, when I looked at it, you just came in my sewing room just as I was, and you got what you got what you saw. I am what I am, really. And it wasn't until I kept coming back in, and then I realised I was a bit more joyful, or a bit more sociable, or a bit more civil even. So I'm trying to make an effort to remember just that, I'm not just doing this, because I was quite pleased with what I was doing, but just, I suppose my mood was low, and that was it. I wasn't aware of it until I saw the footage of how different I got as the day went on. So it's interesting, isn't it? All this videoing and things, I learn something from it every time. So I'm just going to do this now, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so at the moment I'm using my overlocker. I just have had to move my sewing machine onto this table. Let me see if I can move that. Yeah, onto my cutting and doing things on table. And then I have to roll up the mat so that the suction feet stick on the desk. And then I shall just do those sleeves. I've taken 3/8 off each of the side seams on the green Take the Chance dress. So I've also obviously had to alter the sleeve. I did go through the process of, okay, so I shall now recut these and re-overlock them. And you know what? Thought, no, I won't, and now I'm wondering, should I? I've taken off the free arm mould thing. I'm not intending to have both overlockers. This one was broken. I needed one. I went a bit mad and bought myself one, and I just couldn't get on with it, and we're getting to know each other a bit better. Okay, you won't want to know this noise. Hello again. I know it's not very interesting, this, but I'm just doing what I do when I'm sewing. So I'm really pleased I have managed to take the sides in this green dress, and I have overlocked the armhole. I've swapped my thread to the red. I did show you that I was moving my machine. I don't know. I don't think I showed you that I threaded it and it went right the first time. It set off, it looped, it didn't do one straggly one or complain or anything. So I have overlocked the insides, I've overlocked the shoulders and the sides. I have finished putting the collar together. I've clipped it and trimmed it, and I am just gently pinning it to the notches on the neckline. Can't get my words out. I'm going to go and get something to eat now, and then I can come back and paste this to it. Oh, excuse me. And then I can sew it. Oh, and just before I go for something to eat, I'll just show you a sample of the fabric that I was getting. It's a Viscose challis. It's an exclusive Minerva fabric. I've been after it for a while. Well, I've been lusting after it for a while. Saw someone in a jersey. Well, I don't know whether it was jersey. I was wanting to have the jersey version of it. And then I decided that if I could get this in a Viscose challis that has got some drape, I may make another easy fit shirt. And it shouldn't take me long, she says, with her fingers crossed, because I've just made one and I know how to do it. So if I can get this finished, because I'm not leaving another part finished, if I can get this finished part, bar the sleeves, because I haven't decided which sleeves I want, tomorrow I will cut this out, because then I need to be folding my table back in half and making this extravaganza a little bit more modest. So I may get to show you the full fabric later when I come back up, or I'll see you tomorrow, which again will only be in a couple of seconds. Bye for now. Thanks for being with me. Okay, I shared my progress on this. I've just had to take the collar off because I have to remake the two side pieces. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. I tried this on in my video, my Friday sews last Friday, and I was so determined to make it really perfect that I'd put the dart in a little bit higher up than it should be, a few millimeters really, and I thought, no, I'm going to do it right. So I took it apart, undid the dart, redid the darts on each side, put it all back together. Today I have overlocked it, and I was laying the collar on and I thought, there's not enough space on this. So I went back to Rochelle Handmade, because I can't find my first page of the instructions. I kind of know what they are, but it's just the detail of it. So I went back and she was showing that you place the collar against a dot. And I thought, oh, I've forgotten to put my dot on. So I got out my pattern and I was looking for where the dot was, and then I realised where the dot was, and so I just did that. I thought, oh, that's just where I folded it when I put it back in the packet. But no, I'd done that thing where, you know, when you're cutting something on the fold and you just took the piece of paper back so that you see the fold. I can't believe I've done this. So I've cut both sides this much too short. I thought, well, where are my notches? I know I've seen double notches down the front, and they are on this. And I thought, oh yeah, great, that's easy. I can just match that to my double notch on the front. Except that I haven't got a double notch on the front because I've cut it 1.25 inches too short, too narrow. I'm laughing now, but it's not funny. So I'm taking it apart and then I'm going to park it because I want to get on with the other one. Okay, all in easy fit shirt. We're going for I can't think what it's called. The yoke. I think I've got some strobing on my camera. I don't like to cut that way. It's a bit not level at the bottom, so I'm having to be a bit. I better not talk because of that silly error that I made before. I can't believe it. Anyway, I've left a space in this little column for the inner yoke that's not in the pattern, but I'm doing the burrito as followed in Karina's Lifting Pins and Needles vlog. So that's going to be 1/2. Don't know, it's a secret on the other side for one yoke, but then I have to cut out another. So I've left a gap on a bit that I'm not keen on. This pattern, it's a bit drab, a bit blue, and just got to put this pattern piece back on. Yes, so that's going to be on the outside. So I need to keep an eye on that for when I do the back, so that I don't immediately repeat it just before. That's only going to be seen on the inside, so it really doesn't matter. I've left a bit of a extra, what looks like there's too much there, but the selvage is kind of bleeding into this bit. There are pinholes quite a bit further back. So just let me check. It's a bit too far in. And when I did my black shirt, a black floral shirt with all the pattern on, I ended up being so concerned about what colour, what patterns I would have on the upper collar that what did I do? I fussy cut one. I made like a letterbox in the middle of the fabric. Not quite in the middle of the fabric, but about 8 inches down. I just cut out. It took me ages, a couple of days, to decide what I was having as the upper collar. Right, okay, we've got the under collar here. Well, good morning. I think this is day 3. I've got a bit mixed up because the days were short, the days were long. I'm not sure. Yes, it's day 3. So I left you yesterday evening having discovered that I had mistakenly cut this front piece of this fabric blouse that I'm making, the 6707. I had cut that without, anyway, you don't need to know that because you were there, and it's only a minute or 2 after I've done it, so it's an apology really. But I live at the seaside, it's starting to get warm. I'm in a lovely cool dress, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But because the windows are open and we have seagulls nesting on our roof, they are very protective, so when seagulls come round to have a look at what's going on, we have a little chat to each other, or a little scream to each other, or a little laugh with each other. So now and again they will be interrupting a little bit. Right, so what I'm wearing, I'll find the pattern and I'll hold it up a bit later on. It's a multiple pattern. It's got what is listed as a jumper, but it's a pinafore to us, and it's got a jacket and a waistcoat, and I can't remember if it's got a skirt as well. But anyway, it's quite a well-known pattern, and this took a lot of tweaking to get it to fit me. So I've had it a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. It's very, very thin fabric, jersey fabric, and I got it from Abercan, and my first ever Abercan haul, if you like. I just bought a lot of t-shirt fabric when I saw it, when they opened up again, obviously. Yes, so I really like this. It's just the sleeves are from the S8875 and the cuff is from the Harper cardigan, as per usual. Yeah, it's just a really comfortable dress to wear while I'm sewing. And so what I'm going to do now is show you, oops, after I went downstairs, got some tea, I came back up and I laid out the fabric. Came on day one, I washed it. I hadn't been able to show it to you in the afternoon because it was in the tumble dryer. I'd never usually dry any fabric that I wash. I don't usually put it in the dryer. Quite a few people do, so I thought I'll try it, and I have done, and it's fine. So it had a light press, and then it's Viscose Shellis. Now, I'm not certain. I had to even look up what I'd ordered because it's kind of, it sounds a bit weird if I say it's fluffy, but it's slightly fluffy. It's not, I thought it would have a bit of a sheen, or it would be a bit silky, like the Bubble Shoal is quite silky, but this isn't at all. It's nice, it's got a lovely drape. It's for the all-in easy fit shirt. I'd had this planned when I started the other one, and I knew that by the time I ordered it, I wanted to have started making it today. And so when I thought I was going to run over, because I haven't cut this out of this yet, that set me back. I thought, I can't just, I'd made myself a very light schedule, and this is what I wanted to do. So anyway, these videos have not been about chatting, and they've just been about, I'm just going to do this now. So I've cut all this out. I did have a slight panic. I ordered 2 meters. It's not quite as wide as I thought it was going to be. And when I get it, I realised that it is directional. So you can have it upside down, but you've got to make a choice. So you're going to have it that way, you're going to have it that way. So you can't alter patterns and things like that, pattern pieces, to take in the best use of fabric. So I've got this left, but I did manage by the skin of my teeth to get the, oh, my grandson hates that phrase, there is no skin on your teeth. Yes, I think that's part of it, Toby. But anyway, I did manage to get the sleeves out of it. So I've got all the pattern pieces out of it, and that's what's left. So I've just got the little placket binding to cut out, but I've plenty of fabric to do that from. So I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to cut this piece of front out. The pins are everywhere. Then I'm going to part that. I've got the collar done, I've got the facings done, the back's cut, and then I've got to make the darts, add the fronts to the back, and then I can crack on. But I'm not rushing with that now. I wasn't rushing with it before, but I can do that once I've cut it while I've got my table out, because at some time soon I've got to fold this table up. You probably already know that, I've probably already told you. So I'll crack on. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I've just done quite a lengthy explanation, introduction, and you can see my head, but only part of it, and that doesn't really matter, does it? But I'm not going to do it all again. So apologies if you've just seen a piece where my head isn't on properly. Okay, you know when I said I would just cut this out and leave it and park it? Well, I've just been, and I did put the dart in. I've been and pressed it over the ham, and I'm now going to just overlock this edge, as I have got red on my overlocker, and then I can crack on. Just put it back together as it was, and I'll either finish that or I'll start on my all-in easy fit shirt. I need to cut the interfacing for that. Haven't done that yet. I've cut all the pattern pieces, but I've not cut the interfacing, but I have it ready. I got it from Boys, which is a known discount shop, mostly serving Yorkshire, I think, and I got this from Kendal, which is just the beginnings of Cumbria. So I was amazed to find that they had one over here. I know there's one at Skipton, which is kind of Yorkshire, so I was pleased to get this, and it's Visaline, whatever it's called, but it's very fine. Blesaline. Sounds like Vaseline, doesn't it? Blesaline. It's H180. And the other one I was using had been 220, I think. So it's still classed as light, but this is really quite light. I'll pop that there and I'll crack on with this. See you in a bit. Okay, hi. Ooh, I've just been trying something on. I've just taken off the blouse, the New Look 6707, and I've tried it on. I've got it back to where I had it. I have pasted on the collar, and I could just put this back on. So as I've tried it on, it gives me a hump here. On this one, I took this in, I did some little darts, I took those out, I did all sorts. I changed the collar to a different size. I redrafted this to a 12, and I got something better than I had. At this point, I've got another shirt I want to make. I don't want to be sorting out what this is now in deciding on whether I take the collar off. I'm talking about on my new one. Whether I take the collar off, whether I put some darts in the back. I know I should have done some sort of forward neck adjustment or something. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to know if the size 12 would fit me. I don't want to go any further with it, but I'm not going to mess with it now. I put the darts back in, I put the front back on, I've overlocked the sides and the shoulders, and I've as I say, I've kind of more than basted it on really, but I've got it in the right position, and now I know what happens with it. So until you get that far, you don't know whether it's going to work or not. I thought it may just have sorted it out, but it hasn't in doing the 12, because this isn't as bad now. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not dismayed or anything. I want to get on with the beautifully coloured one, and we'll see where we go from there. There is this that I'd like to show you sometime this week. If I just explain, it started life as a Florence skirt. That's what it was intended to be. The Florence skirt, the frill actually joins it around here. I added 4 inches, and the frill starts around here, and that's not quite where I wanted the frill to be. So I added the 4 inches, and then when I did put the frill on, I decided I could have just cut that back off and put the frill up here, or because I made the size of frill that you do, or I would put it on here and see how that looked. I'll show you the black one that I was envisaging this would be like when I did it as the Florence skirt, and I would have liked to have kind of emulated that if I could have with this. So I just put the whole frill on, and then decided if it looks ridiculous, what I will do is I'd actually measured off that I would take 10 inches off and make it like something, it would just be below my knee, but a bit like with a bit of a rah-rah on the bottom of it. Only the one layer. It was a good fit when I made it. It kind of just sits at the top of my hips, finds its own level. I put the facing in the other day. I just slip stitched the facing to the zip, which that's all it was waiting for. I was trying it on and weighing up whether or not I should cut this off. And I kept it on for a little while, and I actually really loved just floating about in it. It's not quite a maxi, and when I've turned it up, I think I'm going to turn it up a good inch. Yeah, I overlock the bottom. I'm turning it in, and then I'll take it up maybe a good inch, I think. And just to give it a bit of weight. If the weather stays nice enough, I'll take a photo of me just floating about in it in the garden. It's just comfortable, and it isn't what I wanted. I didn't like the fabric when I got it. It's a Lady McElroy. I didn't like the patches of big circles, and it just wasn't what I'd expected, and neither was the colour as vibrant as I'd expected, and it may look like it's vibrant on the camera, but it isn't. I'm happy to wear it about. Yeah, so I brought that in as another kind of job for this week, kind of tidying up things that are not as they should be. So that's that. Yeah, this, I've taken the sleeves down, obviously because I was messing about with the sleeve the other day. I haven't decided how to finish it yet, so I'm still working on that one. In my mind, that's all. Not working on it at all. So my priority now for myself is just to crack on with that all-in, whatever it's called. So it's 2:30 now. I went down for a lovely brunch that Alan had put us together, and then I cracked on with this. So I'm quite happy to keep going till tea time, and I'll see how far I can get with the Easy Fit shirt. It's so easy just to lose a piece because it just merges in with whatever's underneath it. It's just, it has a yoke. It's just a single yoke. So this has a pleat in the back, a box pleat. I prefer to do an inverted pleat, so that's what will be there. That's why this is a different size to this. And then once that box pleat is in, this will fit to the back, and that is the yoke. Now I do an interior yoke and make it and do the burrito method. So that one is the fabric that I'm less keen on, and the pattern piece, the part of the fabric pattern that I'm less keen on. So that's on the inside, and that obviously is on the outside. So that might be too much of a match for that immediately from it, but I think I'm okay with it. If that made sense. And it has the curve at the hem. Okay, so that's the back piece and its yoke, so I can pop that away for now. Then I have a collar piece, the upper collar piece. I've got the thing there, I know which one it is. This is the one that needs interfacing, so I'm going to put that on one side and then cut all my interfacing. So that's that one, but I need the pattern piece from it. This has a piece of interfacing down on the edge because that's a grown-on button placket. So these pieces are the front. There aren't any dart. Yeah, so that's that. They're the fronts, and I need to cut a piece for that. Because it's straight up and down, I just do it on the mat with my rotary cutter. So that's that bit. That has to wait for that. It's funny because some patterns have you interface the collar, the top collar, the upper collar, and some may have you doing it on the lower collar. So I shall go and put this on one side because they are two different pieces, and I like to keep the piece attached to it so that I know which is which. The under collar is just slightly smaller, and that makes it rolling back much easier. So just pop that back on there, then I know what it is. Okay, I'm just ready to get on now. So I love you and leave you while I get the interfacing cut, and I'll see where I'm up to when I come back to you. Okay, a quick update because I'm going to go down in a minute, and I've got some unpicking to do, so I'll show you that in a minute. So far I have done my guide stitch down the front of the placket, my first guide stitch. You need to do another one. And while I'd done it, I realised I thought my tension was a bit loose. So I did that one and the other one and the first guide stitch, and it appears I have tightened it too much. I'll explain that in a minute. There we go. So when I did the second one, it's bunched it all up, and I'm wary of, I've had a little stretch at it, but it's got a dark background with a white. The back of it is white and it's showing white where it's being strained now. So I'm going to take that down and unpick it carefully. And that's that. I have interfaced my cuffs, my collar, which I don't know where I've put. My collar interfaced, my under collar not interfaced. That's what they are. I have put together the yoke. I haven't pressed this yet, so I need to go and do this. The yoke and the back with the inverted pleat, so I need to press that. And while I was doing that, I also added the inner part of the yoke, which I will do as a burrito when it comes to joining it all together. So that's all set up. I need to press that. I was just saving my trips to the ironing board so that I'm only going not as many times downstairs. So that's to do, that's to press, that's to unpick, and I'm really pleased at the moment. So that's the butt, and then my sleeves are over there, and I think that's it for now. Oh, I need to cut that strip, my continuous, you know what I mean, placket binding, the thing that does the thing, the thing that does the thing. So I need to do that. Okay, haven't cut one of those yet. I'm going to have my cup of tea, so I won't drink it on screen because it drives me mad when people do that. Slurping and gulping. So I might see you later. Possibly will 10 to 5 now. I possibly will. It's 10 to 5 now. I've got a few things to do and then I may come up after tea. So yeah, it is nice and warm outside. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye for now. Or I'll see you tomorrow, which will just be in a few seconds. Okay. It's been an awesome day today. I've done really well with sewing. Yes, so I've put I think I'd already shown you this. I put the yoke, the inner and the outer yoke on there. I'm not attaching it yet to that because I've got to put the collar on. I should just pop that behind me. I have done a guide stitch and turned this under, and then I've done another row of guide stitching and turned that under and pressed it. Then it comes to me turning it back on itself tomorrow and then marking that out and cutting that into that so that that's the edge for the collar. So that's that for tomorrow. So I've done both the fronts for that, prepared the collar, and then I've got my sleeves. I could just run some gathering stitches along here so that that's ready to sort out tomorrow, and I could make the snip here to put the, whatever that's called, the binding on for the slit in the sleeve, but I'm not doing that tonight. I'm getting a bit tired. It must be about, it's 8:15. So I've had a lovely phone call from our son and daughter-in-law and had a nice little chat. And they may be coming up at the weekend. That's brilliant. So there we go, and the cuffs are ready for that. So all my prep is done, so I could just crack on tomorrow. So I'm really pleased about that. Thank you for being with me. I shall see you tomorrow, which will only be for you a couple of seconds. Okay, bye for now. Okay, hiya. This is day 4, and it's late in the day on day 4. The ring light is just flickering a little bit. Apologies for that. It is now almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we have been to Southport for the day, and it was a lovely, really lovely sunny day. There's a big lake at Southport and the sun was shimmering on the lake. It's the start of the school holidays and there were lots of people, families in motorboats, and it was just lovely, really lovely atmosphere. So I haven't done any sewing yet today. I'm so pleased when I walked in this morning and saw this on the table already done and so bright and cheery. I was so pleased to see it. And the only thing I'm going to do this afternoon or now, tea time-ish, is just gather the sleeve heads, and there was one other thing, possibly attach the continuous binding for the placket, the continuum, whatever, I can't remember what it's called, but doing that to it. And the other thing is, I said I would show you the pattern for the dress I wore yesterday. This is the pattern it's the 4789, Simplicity 4789, and I made that version, which was the green dress that I wore yesterday, and I used sleeves from Simplicity S8875, which I call the flounce dress, but it's not got because it's got a flounce at the bottom. But anyway, if I can find that, I'll show you that as well. But it's just a kind of a puff sleeve to the bottom and then into the cuff from the Harper cardigan. So there we go. And that is the S8875, and I don't know if you can see, it's that sleeve there. But I do the full length, but then I also add the cuff because I've got long arms. And today I'm wearing my Westcliff dress, which is Friday Pattern Company. It has become too big for me, but and in another sense it's because I can wear it lower down. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, but it's French terry and it was a warm day and I did choose it, and I'm glad I chose it. I was going to choose the pale version of this. I've got a white background one with lilac in it, and I was going to choose that, but you never know, it can be quite windy at that seaside. So I just thought, no, I'll wear this, and it was fine. I took a cardi with me just in case it got breezy, but it didn't, and I didn't get all sweltering too hot or anything. Always wear my pink hat, well, not always the pink hat, but I wore my hat with it, and I've just had a lovely day. We both had a really lovely day. Anyway, nice to see you. I probably won't come on again because you don't need to see a few gathers on a sleeve head, and I will definitely now get changed into something a little cooler because it's gone quite stifling hot up here. I did get this out yesterday because I was going to change into it if it got too hot yesterday, but I didn't need to. But this is my Bondi t-shirt from Sinclair Patterns. It just went together so easily. It was the first ever jersey neckband that I'd done, and I was so proud of myself. And it's just so bright and cheery, and it's kind of a viscose jersey, if you like. And I got it from Fabrics at Fleetwood several years ago. Just never knew what to do with it. It was only a metre, and then I found this pattern to do with it what I wanted, and this is what I did. So I may wear that tomorrow anyway, which again will only be a few minutes to you. So thank you for being there. Hope to see you for day 5. Bye for now. Good morning. I no longer have the pattern for this dress. I think it was just in case I was ever tempted to make it again. I kept it for a few years, but no, it was a very difficult make because it was massive, it was weird, and anyway, I love the dress now. I found a way of finishing it off. It should have had a funny facing here. I won't even talk about it. So I love the fabric. It kind of brightens my day, and that's kind of what I wanted today. And what I thought I would do this morning is, instead of finishing off where I left off yesterday, which is I gathered the sleeve heads, I wanted to correct this. You didn't see the video where I shared that I'd made this, which was something like 26th of July, I think it went out. I realised when I was trying it on what the problem was at the bottom of the sleeves, that I'd actually done the pleating wrong, and I'd left myself too much fabric. And then when I came to put it in the cuff, I thought, oh well, I know to get rid of that. I should just make another pleat, and that took some fabric from this side that shouldn't have been taken from this side, and I should have used the fabric that I'd got it in this bit. So it had pulled a little bit. The sleeve felt like it was pulling round from where it should be. So I just want to correct that to make sure that it is right for when I do the next one. Otherwise, it may be a fault that I'm doing something else, and I may be doing something else again on the other one. So I want to get this one right, and I want to finish it. And I'm getting braver now about putting the buttons on. I've been having trouble with the system that it uses to do the buttonhole, the automatic buttonhole. I've been having problems with that. It has to be as reliable as it should be. So I did get my other machine out, my old machine, that does the 4-step buttonhole method, which it just means you have to do all the measurements and the stopping and starting yourself. That's all, really. It just is in the manual. It just says don't do too many of the bar tack ones, but it doesn't say what too many is. So how do you know what too many is? It's ridiculous. If it says only do 4, you know only to do 4, don't you? But while it's going, you don't know how many you're going to end up doing. So anyway, that's just me, and I want this done. So I'm going to have my practice on the false placket that I made and see if I can make 6 in a row. And if I can, then I will do the buttonholes on here. But before that, I want to sort this cuff out, well, both cuffs out. So hope that's okay for you. Welcome to day 5 of sewing. See you in a bit. I've got to go and catch up with my editing now. But just before I leave you, I've realised I got my pattern piece out, and I've checked, and I've got the pleats in the right place, but I still do have a little bit of excess. Okay, so I've worked out why I've got a little bit of excess. It might be more excess than I should have anyway, but I've got to look at this carefully. What I have done is I've realised that this is a size 10 shirt, and this is a size 12 sleeve. I managed to ease it in at the top without any issue, but I forgot about easing it in at the bottom. So it's fine for width, for getting on and off. It's fine at the top really, but I now know that if I go down the side seam, or the back seam, or the seam, and take a little bit off, I'll grade it up so that it doesn't just have a whatever. I don't have to take it all the way up, but if I make sure that I have got the right amount from the pattern and take a bit of extra, I'm not making much sense, take a bit extra out of the seam, but make sure that's the amount on the pattern, and then I'll check whether that works tomorrow or not, because I've faded a bit now, so I'm going to go. I've done a little bit more faffing about with the green dress. I've tidied up the sleeve inside where I'd altered it just at the armhole. I've tidied that up, and I'm still making decisions about how short or long to have it. I don't want it long, but it's whether I left enough on to turn it up twice, make a decent size hem. And it's gone a bit noisy outside. People have got their relatives over. It's gone a lovely warm day. Someone's having a barbecue. So the family has arrived across the way. So it's not just the seagulls, it's the people. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you on day 6. Bye for now. Good morning. Oh, right. Oh, I'm on a winner today. Look, not only did I find my glasses, I found my spare glasses. They're filthy. But anyway, I found my spare glasses and my glasses. Don't know which is which, but one goes a bit wonky. Good morning. Welcome to day 6. I'm excited. I just want to share what I'm wearing. I put this on just so that I could show you the black skirt that I mentioned the other day with a frill on. I'll either pop a picture in about that anyway. But this, I'm wearing my yellow, yes, I think you can see that, cashmerette Grafton top, which I made as a kind of experiment with a size 10 bodice and the CD cup. But it's, as you can see, it's kind of got drag lines, and I need the other cup. So with the 10, I need the EF cup. I know I'm not an EF. Anyway, some of my bra, yeah, let's not go into that. But for sewing, I need, for this, to make this right, I need the EF. So I haven't made that yet in that combination. So as you can see, the size 10 does take this, is in on this part of where I'm shallow. It also brings it in quite shallow there. I haven't done anything special to that, that's just what it does. So I'm not quite sure about that. It's also, I think I need, I'll bring it out now. I tucked it in for effect. So it's a bit like it expects me to have a tummy from here, and I don't have that. And also, and so it's a bit long. And also when I'm walking about in that, because it's the 10, I think, it kind of rides up to where it stops as the 10. I didn't grade it out for the hips, which is what I should have done for the waist and the hips. So I didn't do that. So that's why when it goes up there, it's nowhere to go when it falls back down. So I've just got a, whatever that is, a baggy bit. But this was a trial and it's fine. And it's out of lovely cotton jersey, cotton lycra jersey from Jenny at Seaside Stitches. And yeah, that's my go-to plain t-shirt fabric. Anyway, back to sewing. What am I sewing today? Yesterday, well, the day before, I'd already just done the gathering on the top for the easing in of the armhole for the Easy Fit shirt, the newer Easy Fit shirt. Here is my previously made Easy Fit shirt that I'm still working on the cuffs. As I left you yesterday, I'd realised that all I need to do, I think, make the seam allowance a bit bigger to take a bit of excess out of this so that I don't create another pleat that brings it round. If you've been following, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, you won't have a clue what I'm talking about. So after I'd finished videoing yesterday, I did quite a lot of editing, but I'm looking up there because I also sorted out the sleeve a bit better on the Take the Chance dress, and I'm getting more towards which sleeve I want now. But this is a time thing with me. A bit later on, I'll get on with as much as I can this morning on the new Easy Fit shirt. I want to get that underway properly before I have to dismantle things. So that was my point of cutting out, so that I'm working on several things at once. I don't normally do that. It's just that I want to do what I can while I've still got this table out. So yeah, so I should be working on sorting out the front placket, top stitching that down, turning that over, cutting that down for the collar, the gap that you create for the collar, and then I can attach the collar to it. Well, sew the shoulders together. Don't sew the shoulders together, that would be a bit daft. Anyway, never mind. Yes, sew the front shoulders to the back shoulders, and then I can put the collar on. So I have already created the back and the back yoke, which you've seen. Okay, so I'll see you in a little while. I just feel nice and bright this morning, a bit cheery, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I mentioned the Bondi t-shirt the other day, and I thought I'll put that on, but I'd put this on particularly just to wear with this black skirt so that you could get an idea of what I was talking about. But anyway, all right, I'll see you later. Okay, so here is just a quickie with the Bondi t-shirt on. This has got several different sleeves you can use. It's a Sinclair pattern. It's Bondi, and there are lots of, there is an extra sleeve pack that I bought to go with it, but I've only ever made this one. But I made it straight from the pack. I didn't alter anything, and I just love the fit of it. Right, let's crack on. So this is the bound placket, and I've sewn the V in the top. I was getting a bit croaky, and I got a drink of water. Just to say that I've done the bound placket. I've not trimmed that one yet. I've just basted the pleats in at the bottom. I'm about to sew up the sides. I'm going to go and press them, and then I will sew the seams of the sleeves, and then I can put those to one side and get on with the collar. Okay, I did try on this skirt again this morning. It's just a touch too big. It does find its own level, but it might end up on the floor at some point. It's a bit ridiculous, so this is the day of many outfits. I'm gonna go and put something else on. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm sorry, we're having some work done and there is going to be tapping. So I am just showing you, I won't talk through it, I'm just going to show you how I'm attaching the front to the back. And I won't be doing the burrito just yet, but that's part of the burrito method. Okay, so the inside of the back, the yoke facing, the yoke itself attached to the back, the pleat down the back, attaching the shoulders. So I don't want them to attach to this facing bit. I just said I wouldn't talk, but there you are, I'm talking. So now I've just got a back facing, which is going to match to the front facing. So I'll just pin that just to the back facing, go and sew it, and then meet you back here. I've got a real creak there, I'm just telling you, if you think it's me. Anyway, I have been summoned now to help move a cupboard back. So let's see if that back. Okay, so that's my roll. That's to match that piece of fabric. That is to match the shoulder seam that I've just done. So this is the back facing. I'll show you again. You probably know this anyway, So there we've got the yoke facing is on the inside at the back and would only be seen on the inside, and that is going to be out of our way while I pin that and that, which is the back and the side of the shirt. And then to complete this so that there are no raw edges, we just fold this up. Now you can be a bit more organized and do it all tiny and whatever you want to do, but I'm just doing it like this. And there I can see the back interfacing that was laid down, and this is going to come up over here, join up to this and be sewn at the 5/8 or whatever your seam allowance is to the shoulder seam. And then miraculously, once this is sewn, you can pull it all through. I know, it's magic. It's hard to think about it, but not so hard to do it, especially if you're following the instructions of Karina at Lifting Pins and Needles. She is amazing at her tutorials, and she's got one on more or less everything that you can think of. I'm just feeling my way so that I'm not actually putting any wrinkles in it when I'm doing it. So that's, yep, that's fine. Okay, I'll come back again when I've sewn that up to pull it apart. So annoying, sometimes when I get back it wants my Face ID and I can't, I have to turn the tripod on its side. Okay, let's see if this works. Karina doesn't like you taking it out through the neck hole because you're still to work on that. So let's see how this works. And if it gets stuck, I'll blame you. So just take your time with it. Just gently pull through. Try not to rip all the... Here we come. Nearly there. Voila. Voila. There you go. So we have the back and we have the front. We have the inner back. It's finished off. Oh gosh, we've got a silly doorbell, right? It's not a Ring doorbell at all. But for some reason, diagonally across from us, 3 doors up, if she gets a delivery, our doorbell goes, but on one of its optional, other option ringtones. And we sort it out and it stops doing it, and then once we've had the electric off, it does it again the next time. So there you go. And why is that relevant to just bring in now? It's just because I could hear it from up here. Right, so I'm now going to attack the collar aspect of this shirt. So you can see when you get your components ready, it's quite good for moving on. Okay, so I'm not only showing you the good bits, I'm showing you the bit where I'm so pleased I got this collar on, but not that I've put it on backwards. I'll put it on inside out. And I've got my corners. Oh no. So I ran downstairs for something. I couldn't remember what it was. Spent ages down there trying to think what it was. Then realised it was a pin cushion because I wanted the needle off there to do some basting. Hand basting. I was going to baste the collar on. And I thought, oh no, it's fine. I'll just tack it and pin it and see how it goes. And so now I've got to take it off again. Okay. Right, well, I'm getting somewhere. I know that it sort of fits. It was a bit big. It's a bit big and I've had to ease it in. And now I'm going to have to ease it out to ease it in again. Okay. It's coming up to 4 o'clock on whatever day 6 it is, isn't it? I'll see you in a bit. Bye for now. Okay, right. Well, I left you yesterday where I had put the collar on. I don't know why, how I hadn't been concentrating, obviously, or something, but I'd attached it to this side so that when I'd turn it over, it would have just, it wouldn't have been right at all. So yesterday evening, instead of watching TV, I unpicked it and I have pinned it now, and I'm just going to hand baste it, or tack as I normally say, and then I will check that it all meets up and I've got no pleats or anything in it, and then I will turn this over and possibly sew that down, and then I'll come back to you. So that's that for now. I'm wearing my Pattern Emporium Take the Chance dress, the first one I made. I really love it. I'll just give you a quick, you won't be able to see it because it's not at the place of the camera, but I just love this one. I just love this one. Very, very easy breezy. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye for now. Okay, well, there's been some swearing. I had to change my overlocker thread. Well, I did try to use the new one with the white on, and that didn't work. It did about 3 or 4 stitches, and then there was the usual break from the, I don't know which it is, the upper looper. It's the second one from the right hand side. Anyway, that just, and I thought I'm not messing with it. So I thought I will put some blue on my overlocker, but that meant I needed to just quickly do the around the armhole of this one. So I did that and then had another look at that sleeve. I've still only put one on. I've still only done the pleats on one side. I'm still not quite sure until I've made this. I don't know which way I'm going to do it. But I decided to leave that for now because I wanted to get on with this one. Okay, so I've managed to get the collar on. I can take the tacking out now. I've got the collar on, I have pressed it, and then I was going to do, they ask you not to do the sides. Don't attach the side, don't join the sides until, don't do any finishing on it until you're told to. And that's because they want you to hem, make the hem before you sew the sides up, which is what I've done on here. I don't know if I showed you that, but anyway. Oh, the other thing I've been doing is tucking in the ends at the end of, so they want you to overlock the bottom edges just with your overlock width stitch, and then turn it over just at the overlock width, and then one more turn. I know I'm doing it the wrong way around, but there you go. No, I'm not. Yeah, so that you've just got a very narrow double hem. Okay, and that is because you're going to join the sides. It's going to be a dipped, well, here we are. Because it's quite a sharp dip from the side for the front and from the side for the back, Kate, who designs the patterns, wanted to finish it in this way because you can go askew. If you do your hem if you do your side seams, then you might try and make that. You don't get as good enough a good enough match at the bottom with your V there. So that's what she proposes, and that's what I did. But I also then did overlock the sides, and you're a little bit stuck then for what to do with them. But you just, Karina at Lifting Pins and Needles, she's just done a slip stitch to hold that back against the sides of the hem, which works out fine. I think that Kate says that somewhere on the pattern as well. It's likely to be that, isn't it? So that's that. So I just went on now, after many minutes of messing about with the overlocking threading situation. So I overlocked the bottom edge of the shirt, and I overlocked one side of the shirt edge. Then I realised that when I'd created the placket on this side, you have to top stitch that down by a certain width that it says in the pattern. And as I was getting nearer and nearer the bottom, it was starting to twist out, so I was getting a ripple, and I had undone that from the bottom and then not gone back to it. And now I can't hem the bottom until I sort out this twist. So there was problems with the grain line when after I'd washed it, it had gone a bit skew. I had very lightly overlocked the ends, the raw edges, before I put it in the washer, and I only put it on a 15-minute wash, or maybe a 30-minute wash. I did, however, put it in the tumble dryer, which I never would normally do that. Anyway, I tried it. But when I laid it on the table, it was a bit skewy, and it wasn't easy to get an absolute salvages up. Something's on the twist. If it's my fault, it's my fault. If I didn't get the grain line quite right, then I didn't get the grain line quite right. And I now have to mess about with this and work out what my best plan is, because I'm going to have to undo it. It's going to alter it if I have to alter where that sits now by going around there. This is going to be narrower than the other one. So I should have attended to it earlier. I forgot all about it. And it may just have been that the guide stitch was a bit tight, or the top stitch thing not quite right. So I'm going to have to unpick that and see how it sits naturally. Okay, that's all I can manage to say to you really, because otherwise it's going to have a big twist around there and I'm going to be losing lots of, do you know what I mean? So I'm coming to the end of my day now, and my sewing day. I would have liked to have had at least one finish for you, but I've undone this one, so that's less of a finish than it was when it went out the week before on the video. I'm not far off having made a new shirt. That's great. I did make part of a blouse, did it wrong, corrected it, and then decided not to finish that because I've got a hump at the top. I've worked out what I can do about that, but I ain't touching it now. Okay, so I thought I would just put this on to show you what I'm talking about at the back of my neck. I'm really pleased with this, but at the same time, I'm not. So obviously it's not meant to be going over the top. But I thought it's got the turquoise in it, so it's quite nice. So it has the facings to go on, and I love the colour, and I love the fit of it that I've got, that is a little bit different than the blue one. But then I have this. I'm assuming that shows. So what I have immediately realised is it's just far too high. It comes up too high. So I don't need to go on about that now. Okay, so one day I'll fix that. But I'm not redoing the collar. I'm not taking the collar to pieces. I'm not making a different frill. I'm not altering it in that way. I'm only altering the back of the thing. If it becomes too big because I've lowered it, I'll put some darts in and bung the collar back on. Just to give you an idea, that's the twist, see? So I've got to attend to that. So I need to look at it, don't I? And see if I've got my measurements right on the inside bit in any case. So that's how it's going to look. That's the colouring of it. That's the colour is good enough. That's all I'm saying. I'm not coming up close to you. So that's it. That's the the idea of it and the swish of it. And I really love it, but it's not going to get finished today. But I'm finishing my video today. I've got to edit, and we've got to get ready for family coming. later on tomorrow. So that's that bit. Well, we've got to the end of the week, and I'd just like to thank you ever so much for all your patience and for staying with me, and I hope you've enjoyed some of it, if not all of it, but thank you. That's what I wanted to say.